Welcome back to Beneath the Long Man's Feet. I hope you had a good seasonal break, however, whatever and wherever you celebrated it. And here we are in the Northern Hemisphere approaching Imbolc. Now they say the light lengthens, but as the light lengthens, the cold, it strengthens. And that is certainly the case at the moment. So I've got a tale for you which is quite appropriate for Imbolc in many ways, first beginnings of spring. And it's about Old Man Winter. And it goes like this. Old Man Winter sat back in his chair and smiled. As much as Old Man Winter ever smiled anyway. His work was done and everything was cold and frosty, and winter was at its peak. But then he heard a sound. Sounded a bit like singing, but he thought it can't be the birds, because he'd banished the birds to the warmer climes of the south some time ago. And it couldn't be the babbling brooks or the streams, for he had frozen the rivers and the streams a long, long time ago. I wonder what it could be, he thought grumpily. And then there came a knock at his door. Old Man Winter opened his door, and there was a young man with bright green eyes standing before him. "Hello," said the young man. "I understand, Old Man Winter, that you do so many wonderful things and such deeds of strength that I thought I'd come and hear them from you personally, and perhaps I might be able to match them. Perhaps we can swap stories through the long winter." Old Man Winter wasn't particularly happy about this, but he was a bit vain, and he couldn't wait to show off all of the things that he could do. So once the young man was in his house, Old Man Winter said, "I'll start," he said, "because with just a shake of my head, snow falls and ice forms and frost forms and the whole land is covered in a blanket of white, cold snow and ice." "Well," said the young man, "impressive, but with just a shake of my head, all the ice and snow clears, leaving just bright green grass behind it." Said Old Man Winter. "Well, you know what? With just a blow of my breath, the rivers and the streams and the ponds, they all freeze solid." "Ha, that's impressive," said the young man. "But with a blow of my breath, all the ice melts and the streams and the brooks are babbling and flowing and singing once more gaily as they tumble over the rocks." Said Old Man Winter. "Well," he said, "with just a word and a gesture, all of the birds fear my cold and they fly as far as they can to get away from my cold touch." "Strange," said the young man, "for I talk to the birds and I enjoy them singing back to me, and they tell me the joy of the world. I can talk to the birds and I love seeing them here. I would never send them away." Said Old Man Winter. "Well," he said, "you see the leaves of the trees on the ground all brown and dead and crumbly? That's me. And you see the trees with no leaves and their skeletal fingers reaching for the sky? That's me. That is what I can do." "Oh, strange," said the young man. "I have never seen a tree without its leaves. No. In fact, I quite often help them on with their green coats and look to see in their finery as they are green and wonderful and full of life." Said the Old Man Winter. He was getting really quite cross. Crosser than he normally got, that is, because everything that he said, the young man had a counter-argument against it. And long through the night went this backwards and forwards with Old Man Winter telling stories of cold and frost and snow, and the young man countering with stories of sun and brightness and green and new life. Well, eventually there came through the window of Old Man's house a bright sunlight beam, and the young man thought, "Oh, look, the sun has come back, the light has returned, how wonderful." And he opened Old Man Winter's door, and there were loads of birds singing, "Welcome back, spring, we've missed you so much," said the birds. For the young man was indeed the spring. And he turned round to thank Old Man Winter for an entertaining evening. But when he turned round, Old Man Winter was no longer there. All that was left was a pile of snow on some green leaves. And when Spring looked a little closer, he found that it wasn't in fact snow, it was a simple white flower. A flower with green leaves. Said Spring, I will call you a snowdrop, for you are the only flower that remembers Old Man Winter. And for that I will make sure that you are always the first flower of the spring. And that is why the snowdrop comes out at Imbolc at the early spring festivals. The flower that remembers the cold of Old Man Winter. I do hope you liked that story. Do drop me a line on Facebook, YouTube, or Facebook, whichever is your preferred medium, beneath the long man's feet. And I'll be back at Beltane or Spring proper with another tale or story. And I should say this wasn't one of my stories. The story I've just told you was an ancient tale, an old folk tale that I have adapted myself. But anyway, enough of my waffling. Blessed Imbolc to you all, my friends. And I hope the coming spring and the coming light is good to you all. But until we meet again, I now bid you, as always, hail and farewell.